This is hive number 9, and last week they were doing very well. I did add this super on here, the additional super, a couple weeks ago, the medium super, and they were just starting to go in there last week, so I want to see how they're progressing and how much is drawn out. So just looking from the top, I see bees in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. I don't see them here down on the end. I'll just pull one of these frames out. See how much they've drawn them out. This one they're just starting on. This one's completely drawn out on this side. I will scatter these in here a bit more. I can tell this one's probably drawn out completely. Yep. It's drawn out completely. They're filling it with honey. This is going to be their food for the winter. Might actually be nectar. I just noticed I still have a feeder in here. I don't think I need this anymore. Oops. I don't think I filled this last week actually. Yep, this one's all drawn out. So we have 1, 2, 2.5. These are drawn as well. So we have 4.5 frames that are completely drawn out. I will get rid of the feeder and I'll go get a couple additional medium frames. I don't see any brood up in this super, which is fine. Seems like the queen is focused on the bottom super. Wow, these guys are really packed in the bottom. I'm going to take a look here and see if there are any frames that I can pull for making an additional nuke. And I think there will be. These guys look pretty packed in. I did pull a nuke off of these, I think it was 2 weeks ago or so, maybe 3. And I only got these guys at the beginning of July. They were a 4-frame nuke when I bought them. I think this was a frame I stuck in here last week that wasn't drawn. Looks like it's drawn now and completely filled with eggs on that side. On this side is capped brood. So I'm looking for a frame that has capped brood on both sides so I can do a split. And before I do that, I'm going to set this aside, but I want to make sure the queen's not on here. I'll put that down here and then take a look at all of these. I want to do a quick count just to see how many frames I have in here. I don't want to, yep, eggs in here. Eggs in here. Man, this queen is a great queen. Doing really well. So I have 2 frames with eggs. This one feels really heavy, so I think this is going to be nectar. Yeah, a lot of nectar and brood that was hatching out. I think I'll put this one back in and then take this frame. It's mainly nectar on this one. I'm going to give them a frame of drawn comb. I did put these in the freezer. There's a lot of wax moth damage in here. So I put them in the freezer to kill all the wax moths. But it is a lot of drawn comb. So this will give these guys a head start. And I will take that frame of honey and put that in another hive. Stick this in here. They should clean that up real nice. And then start putting eggs in there real quick. Queens love that old dark comb. This is a nice frame of capped brood. It's capped on this side as well. There are a few younger larvae in here, but it looks like there's quite a few younger bees. They're kind of fuzzy looking. So I think this will probably start hatching out soon. Maybe it already has. Yep, this frame is starting to hatch out, so this one's a perfect one for a nuke hive. This one's quite a bit of pollen, young larvae, pollen, some capped brood, young larvae. Gonna put in another drawn comb. This one's damaged quite a bit, but hopefully they'll be able to pull it out and maybe save them some extra wax making efforts.
It takes the most energy making a drawn comb, huh? Wax.
Yeah, it takes quite a bit of energy. I forget. I think it's for every pound of wax, they need to consume what, 16 pounds of honey or 12 pounds of honey, something like that. So it's hard on a hive. That's why a lot of times when they're just starting out, you want to feed them with sugar water to kind of help them build that wax out faster. So a lot of what I'm trying to do this year is just get additional brood or additional comb built for next year. So far there's been 4 and a half frames of, well actually 5, because I have 2 there. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5 frames of brood. This one they just drew out last week because I put this in the middle. And yep, totally full of young larvae, eggs. This side is capped. I don't see any queen cells, which is great. Another frame of capped brood, and I can see down in there that's totally capped brood as well. I'm not going to take that one out. So in this hive now we're at, let's see, I'll have to count them up. It's a lot of brood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 8 frames of brood. I'm going to take one of those frames. This bottom super is completely drawn out. except for those 2 frames that I added. We're going to have to fix those now. I pulled 2 frames from them. I always used to do 9 frames because they would get so crowded. And this year I'm doing 10, but I'm tempted to go back to 9 frames. It reduces the chance of the queen getting squished. And you're sliding those frames in and out. They're kind of tight.
When you do 9 frames, how do you do the bead distance? Do you just leave
Well,
one in?
you let them build them out with 10, and then that's how I do it. Then they build them out nice and straight. Then you pull one out and you just spread them evenly across the distance.
Oh, after they build it
Yeah,
out.
then it's a lot easier to pull them in and out. In the honey supers, they will extend the length of the cells to fit the space. So they have longer cells, and you actually fit more honey in a honey super when you have 9 frames versus 10. I think in a medium super, there's usually, 32 pounds, 35 pounds with 10 frames. With 9 frames, you'll be more like 37 to 40 pounds in there.
Oh,
if it's completely packed. But most of the time they don't
Not
completely pack everything.
Oh.
But it's a significant increase in the amount of
Oh,
space
yeah,
they have.
it is.
So, yeah, it looks like, I heard bees crushing. I hate when that happens. It looks like there are 5 drawn in the top, and there were completely full in the bottom, 8 frames of brood in the bottom. I did take a frame of brood and a frame of honey out of there, so they have some additional space. They have additional space here to build, so I think these guys will be fine for this week.